how do you use some of the creativity that you found in art in order to navigate some of the fears in life? Is it helpful?
It is helpful. And one of the things is realizing the attitude we bring to things changes it completely. So the same event could be terrifying, or we can decide it's okay. And it's the same exact event. It's just a mentality. I had an experience years ago. I grew up in a place where there were no insects.
Wow.
Yeah. Where I grew up was just a very contained, protected environment. So I was, and my mom was afraid of insects. So I grew up with this feeling of insects as foreign and scary. And I was in Hawaii about 7 years ago, and there are centipedes that can sting you. They don't kill you, but they're very painful. And I'd been going to Kauai for a long time, and was aware of them, and in the back of my mind, afraid of them. And one night I woke up, my head was itchy, I brushed my head, and I felt something extremely painful. And I said to my wife, I think I was just stung by a centipede, and I have one of two choices. I can panic, which is what my entire life has led me up to, or I can decide it's okay and go back to sleep. And she said, the second one sounds better. I'll do that. 20 years ago, I don't know if I could have done that. 30 years ago, I'm sure I couldn't have done that. The panic is what I've been trained for my whole life.
That's that conditioning where we're all, as you said, trained, conditioned, prepared for in a certain way.
Yeah. Even things that we don't know about. Like we may be afraid. Did you know that people were not afraid of sharks before the movie Jaws?
No, I did not know that.
The reason everyone's afraid of sharks is because of the movie Jaws.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Change the world.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable how, what we seek or what we shun comes from a movie or a song or a visual demonstration of whatever it may be. And I find hence so many fears are not real. And as we're talking about, fear only so often exists mainly in the mind. And that's what we're talking about. It's a construct of the mind. When we're talking about creativity, you address this fear head on in the beginning because it is a fear. Everyone has somewhat of a fear, just as we say things like, oh, I can't sing. We say things like, oh, well, I'm not creative, or I'm not artistic, or I've never really been a creative, I'm more academic, or whatever it may be. We have these, again, constructs, right and wrong, academic, creative, mostly polar opposites. And you're actually saying, no, this is something everyone can access and has access to.
And do access.
And do access.
Yeah, we just don't all acknowledge it. But deciding to take a different route home because there's a traffic jam in front of you and figuring out the way to go, that's a creative decision. Cooking food and it tasting a certain way and you think, oh, maybe it'll taste better if I add this to it, that's a creative decision. We all do them. Every day we make creative choices. Anytime we do something that's not exactly the same as the way we did it yesterday, the reason it's different is because we made a creative choice.
Yeah, absolutely. As simple as that.
As simple as
just
that.
Just a detour in a car.
Anything.
Little sprinkle of this or that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're all doing it. And the book is an invitation to open that channel as far and freely as you can.
It really does that. I really believe it does that. What I love about it is you can truly turn to any page. And I know they say this about a lot of books, and I don't think it's true for most books, to be honest, because if you pick a random page of a book, the context is completely out. Whereas with this, there truly is that sense of, if you're looking for that creativity, if you're trying to seek it within yourself, there's something that will inspire you. What have you found over the years, working with artists, working with yourself, what have been the biggest blocks to creativity or to accessing that? What are the biggest blocks? Is it, I know, and I'll touch on a few that I'm intrigued by and curious about, but what would you say are the biggest blocks that people have to being truly creative and imaginative?
One big block is concerns about what other people think. That's a big one. I made this thing that I love, but I think other people would like it more if I made it different for them. We don't know what they would like. It's all in our head. It comes back to this thing of what I think isn't good enough. You know, if I like it, that doesn't mean anything. That's what people think. It's like, just because I like it, that doesn't give it any value. It's like, as an artist, if you like it, that's all of the value. That's the success comes when you say, I like this enough for other people to see it. Not other people like it, so it's successful. That doesn't mean anything, because that's other people liking it is out of your control. All that's in your control is making the thing to the best of your ability